We're jumping in, exploring some different magic item tactica for Baldur's Gate. And in this vlog, we're going to be exploring the Ring of Wizardry found in Baldur's Gate 1, a very potent, a very powerful magic item, but one that comes with some interesting decisions based on the type of character that you're playing and the tactics that you want to leverage. Now, in this vlog and future magic item vlogs that I'm going to be pushing up to my channel here under the BG playlist, I want to navigate spoilers correctly. Because so much of this game, listening right now, I don't know where you are in your journey. Maybe this is the first time playing. Maybe you're exploring different options. Maybe you've done the primary quest 3 or 4 times, and now you're exploring all of the side quests. I don't want to take that away from you. So while we're talking about certain items, that if you're familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, you kind of know some of these items. If you pick up certain quests, you'll kind of hear about them. But I'm not going to be talking about how to get them. So the Ring of Wizardry exists. How you find it, the quest you go on, how you discover it, along with all the items, I'm going to leave that up to you. But when you do acquire it, now you're equipped to make some decisions. So magic, just to kind of sidebar for a moment, Baldur's Gate uses the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition rule set. I have to say second for the AD&D purists out there. This differs vastly from the current edition rule set of Dungeons & Dragons. Perhaps you're familiar with that. In the current edition of D&D, playing a wizard, playing a mage, playing an arcane class, it's baby cakes. It's easy mode. You get lots of spells. You can cast different spells. You can buff different spells. You never really run out of spells. If you do run out of spells, it's very easy to rest. Very different than Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, you don't get many spells per level. It takes a long time to level up, different experience points required. You don't have a great armor class. You don't have good hit points. Baldur's Gate, outside of an inn or a safe place, there is the potential for wandering monsters to attack you, ambushes. It's tough being a mage, and all you really have are your spells, and the rest of the party's looking on you to leverage those spells. So with the Ring of Wizardry, you double your first level spells. This is huge as it stacks throughout the game, because normally as a wizard, you'll have your spells, and how you augment them once you burn through them, if it's an encounter, it could be pretty pricey. You could get a wand of magic missiles, and I don't consider that a spoiler because you get one right away. There are various effect potions that a mage could use, but these cost gold. Literally every time you're clicking, you're burning gold. Maybe you want to hold it as a true backup and just not use it to kill another hobgoblin or something from that perspective. Or maybe you want to track all your gold and really trying to leverage it. Where spells for a mage, you acquire spells, you find spells, you buy spells once, you scribe them into your book, you have them. Now, usually the choice at the lower levels, am I going to deal damage, like with Magic Missile, which can affect one target? Am I going to do crowd control, which is usually the preferred method of lower level spells to medium level? An example would be sleep, where if I can catch a group, there's the chance, I mean, you have to have saving throws and be within the radius. There's the chance that I can catch and possibly knock out 3 or 4 or more. And then, of course, there's buff spells like Mage Armor and things like that, which is debatable at the lower levels if you want to utilize a slot for that, because you're still really easy to hit. Although any type of armor class that you can bring down is good with how things stack, especially since you don't have a lot of hit points. Finding this ring doubles your spells. So now you can play conservative in that you could take sleep-based spells, area effect spells, but you could still take 1 or 2 offensive spells to utilize for that moment where if there's an archer in the back, you can at least ping him. Or if there's a chance to interrupt an effect and trash mobs are kind of mobbing your front line, you could ping that and hit them with it. So tactically, it is very, very powerful. You can also utilize it to double those spells to just always have some sort of shield up protection type spell. It is a potent magic item. Now, here's the temptation. It is a very expensive magic item to sell. And since it's not linked to any chapter, if you follow up on some leads, if you're aware, you can get it very early on in the game. Or if you've played through a few times the game, you know where it is, you grab it early on, you can sell it for a massive amount of gold that now you can utilize to kind of bypass the earlier magic items, +1 sword, +1 shield, to now some of the clicky renewable items, which in AD&D would have been labeled wondrous items. Or you can start buying very early on, Chapter 1, with a little bit of saving some gold and going on some quests, some of the very, very potent magic items that are not discoverable, but you can purchase in stores. So it's a great way early on to boost out and saves you a lot of time. That is the decision to be made. Now, if you're not playing a mage party, right, this is the great thing about Baldur's Gate. You can go solo. You can play a mix of parties. Generally, even with BG1 being more low magic with spells, you would like to have a mage in the party. But you don't have to necessarily play a mage throughout the whole thing and utilize it through that. Often, what a shortcut will be is, well, I shouldn't say shortcut. One way of playing. A mage at the lower levels is not very powerful. You got to level up. You got to put in that those experience points. When someone joins your party, it kind of auto levels them to match and brings them in at an appropriate level. So you can acquire this ring early on, sell it, get the boost, go through those earlier chapters without a mage, and then if you feel there is a mage, have them join later on. They auto level. They're more scaled up. Yes, they don't have the double first level spells, but they've got others unlocked and enough from the BG1 perspective. So I say that because it is a boost. It is powerful. If you're playing a mage as your primary tune, it's a great thing to have. A lot more spell flexibility. But is it really necessary? And the amount of gold that it sells for makes it very, very tempting to sell, to utilize gold resources for the rest of your party, or to explore other areas from that perspective.